So, okay, we're back. We're working with the machine now, and what I pick up this yarn, okay? Any yarn that you wanna use it. What I'm doing is I'm just creating a little knot. Okay, the knot has a little loop. I'm going to start where my three needles are. Okay, my black 3 needles are. So they're going to serve as two things. They're going to serve as a guidance for me, and as well as to mark the beginning. Okay, so I'm using the 3 here, and what I'm doing is with the loop I'm putting on the middle black needle. Okay, tie a little bit, not much, and put it right in a middle one, and then you return. You just feed your machine, okay, and hold this one here so it's out of the way. Now you're gonna crank one. Mind you that you are using the 3 black ones, so you knitted 1. Now you're gonna knit the second one, and now the third one. So you have 3 needles on use now. Now you're going to have, okay, so you have 3 needles in use. You're going to knit another one, so now you have 4. And now you're picking up from the right side, crank back, left side 1, picking up 1 as you move the machine. Pay attention so the needle catch the yarn underneath, okay? And you just keep going in this fashion until you have the number of stitches you needed or you desire. So I'm going back and forth, picking up a stitch very slowly here. I like to do slow so we know the machine is working properly. So you're picking up one by one, and it's up to you how big you want to make this square or this triangle. If you want to make it smaller number of needles. If you want to make it bigger, more size, more needles. Okay, so picking up back and forth, not hard to do, easier than it looks. Sometimes people are afraid to try new things. Just think that the Addi machine is same as any machine. However, you have to think Addi. Thinking Addi or thinking a circular is just a little different, because in this case here we have to manipulate, crank the machine in order to knit the fabric. Or any other machines, you have to manipulate it by hand or by a carriage. That's the only difference, okay? So we need a certain number of rows, but you make sure that you have an even number of rows, in the sense that if you increase 1 in this side, you have to increase 1 on the other side. And the reason is so you can make the triangle exactly the same size. How big the size of the triangle, it depends a lot on the kind of yarn you will pick it, you will use it. However, keep in mind that thicker yarns are going to give you a thicker fabric, and not only that, triangles, if you're going to incorporate them in a garment, for example, they tend to be stiff with a thicker yarn. If you use a malleable, a thinner yarn, that yarn is going to give you a fall, a nice. For example, if you're making a skirt that you want it to have a flare to it, you have to pick a yarn that it falls nicely. Okay, so I'm going to do just one more here. I am almost done, and I'm going to show you how it's coming off the machine. So it's important that you just try in a yarn that you pick. Try it before, especially again if you're going to incorporate on a garment. However, if you're going to make an afghan or a quilt, a blanket, baby blanket, and you're going to use the shapes on that blanket, you don't need to be very picky about the yarn. The yarn can be your choice. So how we know that we are perfectly aligned is when we have 3 needles here, because in this case I'm using the maximum width that I can get with the 4 stitches. So, and again, now I reach to my 3 needles. So I had the black needles on the opposite side. Now I'm finishing with the 3 needles. So I'm balanced. I know I complete the triangle. So I'm going to go back just once more because I wanted to take it off from the machine. Okay, use it here. I'm removing this one, and what I can do is just putting a different yarn so I can fasten my stitches. Okay, so I'm just going to fasten my stitches here, and sometimes I create a monster here, but don't worry, I'm used to this. You just have to, get used to the spider web here. Creating a spider web. Anyway, once more, I like to do a couple times, so we secured the stitches. Okay, so we did secure the stitches. I'm removing everything from the machine, and this is the fun part. And oops, okay, so we have it here, the machine, from the machine. I'm going to show you how I did. See, very, very easy. Again, I started with a 1 stitch, and I went increasing one by one until the end, as you saw it on the table there. And I'm going back there because I wanna speak about other points that we should take in consideration when we incorporate a triangle or a shape into a garment. Okay, see you in a bit.